Hello and welcome back to the Ultimate Racing League. This is our Saturday multi-class championship. We are in Switzerland and we are at the Eigernorwand short track. 1.5 miles, 11 turns of twisty, turny tarmac, winding its way through the foothills at the Swiss Alps, I think. I'm not sure, I've just made that up, but it looks like it is anyway. So we are on race 2. Race 1, what a fantastic race that was, full of incidents. As I say, this track really sorting the men from the boys. Toten came out on top after Grasshopper had a fantastic first part of the race. Unfortunately had a bit of a spill halfway through, had an accident, run into the back of Vicar, and that gifted Toten the win there. Grasshopper coming in second because Dirk pulled up short at the line, didn't think he got enough fuel to do another lap, and allowed Grasshopper to go by. So right confusion towards the end. Let's have plenty more of that, shall we, in race 2. So we'll go down the order and we'll see what positions they are on the grid. And you can see we've got Vicar in pole position. Unforgiven is in second. Paul is third. Fourth on the grid is Derview. Fifth is Grasshopper. Toten is sixth. Callum, seventh. Callum wasn't in race 1, so a new addition to race 2 is Callum in the Porsche. Nathan 8th. The Big Mac 9th. Molpiece 10th. Brian Moncani 11th. And Pete R is 12th. So back up to our race leader. It is a rolling start, so let's get this race underway, shall we? As the Corvette heads down through turn 11 and across the start finish line to start this race down the hill towards turn 1, just to get the tyres warmed up. Turns 1, 2, 3 and 4 are all a bit twisty and a bit turny, so let's just make sure everybody gets through. Already a gap opening up, and it looks like somebody went a bit wide there. It was Peter at turn 1. Or Pete. Is it Pete or Peter? Definitely getting some air. Oh, it just couldn't slow down enough, could he? Oh, bit of a touch with Molpiece. That's what caused that. No harm done, no. Both still going in the right direction. So back up to our race leader, who's opening up a bit of a gap at the minute, is Vicar in that Corvette. We've got Unforgiven sitting in second with Paul not that far behind in third. Derg in fourth. You will have to excuse this cough, I've had it for feels like years now. Toten in fifth, our race 1 winner. Then we've got Grasshopper and Callum. Callum wasn't in race 1, but he is obviously in race 2. Putting the pressure on Grasshopper. The Porsche should be pretty good around here, actually. The Porsche is a great all-rounder. It's not too overly quick in a straight line, but it is great through the turns. And as you've seen, Callum made quite light work of getting by Grasshopper. So Callum moves up into 6th, and he's now got his eye set firmly on the back end of Toten. As I say, that Porsche is very nimble through the turns. And Callum right on the back of Toten. What a great shot that is. You can see with all the scenery in the background. You just see an ambulance sitting there at the back. He was kept very busy, wasn't he, in race 1. So Vicar with the fastest lap so far, a 107.3, as we're watching Callum trying to chase down Toten. Well, it just, from that view there, it looks like Callum is really fighting that car, trying to keep it in a straight line. Very quick into the turn is Callum, hard on the brakes. You can see we've got a whole cluster of cars just up ahead. And there we go, we're looking at the back end of Toten. You can see Callum on a purple sector. So he is looking, Toten with the fastest lap now, a 1:03.2. Got nobody behind, so Callum under no pressure whatsoever behind. He can concentrate fully on getting up to the back end of Toten and maybe making a move on him. And there we go, he's right on the bumper of Toten's car in the slipstream. If you get a slipstream down here, he's going to have a look at the inside. Oh, is he? I think he's managed to... No! I thought Callum was going to have a look at the inside of Toten, then Toten managing to defend it very well. A very tricky section this is, 2 turns, 3, 4. Out on to turn 5 across the bridge. Down towards turn 7. This sweeping right-hander that starts to take you back up the hill. As you see, Unforgiven has come through. Where's Unforgiven come from? Oh, and we've had somebody's gone off. Let's just go back and see who that was. It was somebody up ahead. It may have been Paul. Unforgiven. I'm not quite sure what happened to that. He ghosted. I may have gone back too far. I apologise for that, but I just wanted to see. It was definitely a blue car that was off. It was Paul. It was Paul. Now, I'm not quite sure what he did. Maybe just got on the grass. You see, Dirk got quite drifty through that section. Oh, Paul, he's just got his wheels on the grass. Oh, that was unfortunate. He's just touched the grass. And that has threw him off. And it's dropped him down to 7th now as Grasshopper goes through. Callum goes through. So back up to our race leader, Vicar, doing a fantastic job. We're on lap 4. Oh, he's getting a bit out of sorts there. These guys really having to wrestle these 3 cars around this track. As Dirk puts the pressure on Vicar. Vicar ghosting there, so maybe Dirk had a bit of a touch, bit of a feel of his bumper. Both still facing the right way, which is what we want. Or as Vicar gets himself on the grass, he's definitely got dirty tyres there. You can see him getting all out of shape as Dirk goes through. So Vicar dropped down to 2nd, and that was purely because he went on the grass, got dirty tyres, and couldn't get the power down early enough without the car twitching on him. So Vicar down to 2nd. Dirk moves up to take the lead. And he's now going to try and have it away on his toes. He is on the soft tyres, as most of them I'm sure will be. Excuse me. Callum having a bit of a battle with Toten. So Callum moved up into 3rd. We was watching him earlier catch up to Toten. He's obviously got by. I'm not going to go back and try and find it. But he has got through and into 3rd. Callum is a very quick driver. We have seen him many times win races in the Ultimate Racing League on the Sunday leagues. So he's joined this Saturday championship, maybe just as a fill-in. I'm not sure. Hopefully he'll be a regular. But he seems to be enjoying himself out there today. He's moved himself up into 3rd. Toten dropped down to 4th, our race 1 winner. Still plenty of time left in this race. It's a 30-minute race and we are only 6 minutes in, so plenty of time. Oh, is that Vicar that's there are plenty of spills happening and we love it. Oh, he's just clipped it on. That has thrown him all over the place. A double kiss with a barrier, then a bit of a nudge there. Oh, he did. It's a good job he ghosted. Everybody nearly collecting him there. Grasshopper nearly ran into him. Paul nearly ran into him. Unforgiven. It was a good job that Vicar ghosted when he did. Otherwise, Unforgiven would have collected him as he went through. Little jump there from Paul as they go across that little bump in the road. So let's just see what's happening. Derg out in front, Callum in second, Toten third, Grasshopper now fourth. Paul putting Grasshopper under a bit of pressure. Let's go on board with Paul. We can see we've got Unforgiven just sat behind, we've got Grasshopper just ahead. So Paul's going to be looking for an opportunity. Maybe this is it. No, he couldn't get the line tight enough. So he's just having to follow Grasshopper around as they go through turn 9 up towards 10, the left-hander, and then up to 11, and that bit of track, bit of a camber on there as well, so it can unsettle the car, but both Grasshopper and Paul keeping it on track. Unforgiven still with them. Then it's down the hill across the start-finish line to start lap 8 into turn 1, hard on the brakes. A right, then a left into turn 2. Get your foot down, then back on the brakes again for turn 3. This right-hander straight into turn 4. Then across the bridge onto turn 5, 6, and then into 7. This long sweeping right-hander which takes you up the hill into the mountains. Unforgiven still there, Paul just sitting there just behind Grasshopper through turn 9, then 10, and then through this S section. Oh, and you can see the car jump about around turn 11, and then hard on the accelerator, plant your foot onto that noisy pedal across the jump, and we're on lap 9. Oh, a bit of a glitch there. Oh wow, we are getting lots of glitches. Now, was that a nudge, or was it just a bit of lag as they go across the start-finish line? Jumped, and then, well, yeah, I think that was that was definitely lag. That was not Paul causing all of that. That was a bit of lag, so I hope that doesn't rear its ugly head on this race. We've enjoyed the racing so far. So let's not let the lag spoil it. So anyway, Paul in 5th, then Unforgiven 6th, then we've got Vicar in 7th, Brian Moncarney. Now Brian Moncarney's changed his car. He's that looks like is it the Mazda he's in now? So Brian Moncarney, for whatever reason, perhaps he damaged his other one so much in the race 1, they've had to give him a courtesy car, and he's now in a Mazda. Pete in the Ferrari in 9th. Then we've got the Big Mac in another Ferrari, Molepiece, and then Nath. We're getting very congested down there, isn't it, as these DR3 cars trying to get by Nath. Nath lets them through though, so good racing from Nath. Doesn't want to hold the guys up. He doesn't have to move, but he has. He's let the guys through. So back up to our race leader, Derg, looking very comfortable at the minute. Although I shouldn't say things like that, should I? Because every time I do, somebody crashes. Quick swig of juice there, just to keep the old vocal cords lubricated. So Derg now got to try and get past the Big Mac. Is the Big Mac going to let him through? I think he has. Derg got it done before they get to turn 1, which is what he wanted. He didn't want to get a hold up. Callum in 2nd, he's got to get by the Big Mac. However, he does have a penalty, and you can see the penalty bar starting to fill up. Tell him he's going to slow down. So out of turn 5, I think he's going to hit the penalty zone. Yeah, we just about see it, and there it is. So that's Callum served his penalty. That's dropped him a little bit off of Derg again. So Callum got it all to do again to catch up to Derg. Toten in 3rd. Great shot of the flames licking out the back of that car of Toten's as he goes through the gears. Grasshopper in fourth, not having such a great race as he led for most of race one. Now finds himself down in fourth. Still plenty of time left. We've got about 20 minutes, just under 19 minutes left of this race. So Paul in fifth, then Unforgiven in sixth. This is a bit of a tricky track for these Group 3 cars. I think they're a bit too powerful for it. It's probably more suited to the rally type. But these guys are doing a good job. Vicker now down in seventh. Remember, he started in pole position. He's now down in seventh. I was just about to mention pit stops as Callum pulls the trigger and goes in. So Callum is the first one in to make a tyre change. So Brian in the courtesy car in eighth. The Big Mac in ninth, Molepiece 10th, then Nath, and then Pete. Now Pete finds himself down in 12th, so Pete must have had one hell of a moment to find himself all the way back down there, unless he's done a pit stop. That's I'm just looking at the tyres, so Pete has done a pit stop. He is now out fully fueled and on some racing medium tyres. So that is why Pete is down in 12th. He knows the guys in front of him have got a pit stop to make. So we'll go back up to our race leader. You can see Vickers in, Callum is still in. Blimey, you've got time to have a cup of tea and a sandwich, haven't you? The time it takes you to get through that pit lane. So Derg, he's okay for fuel wise. I think for probably maybe another 1-2 laps. Same with his tyres, so it'd be interesting to see how long he stays out for. Toten, he's okay for fuel, tyres maybe 55% on the front left. Paul very good at fuel saving. Tyres not so great, but Paul can definitely do a good race with the fuel. Sitting in third, he'll be pleased with that at the minute. Then we've got Grasshopper in fourth, and he is in the pit lane. Well, I call it a pit lane. You can see yourself there. It's more like a tunnel. That's probably why it takes so long. They get lost. And the mechanics are not exactly the fastest, are they? But there you go. Unforgiven also coming into the pits. Look at them guys ready to spring into action. So Vicker with a penalty. Oh, that has got to be a pit lane infringement. That looked like a 3-second penalty. And that is unlucky for Vicker. That may be, say, crossing the pit lane line or something like that. To get 3 seconds, that is really unfortunate for Vicker. That's properly ruined his race, as he lets some of the faster guys through. So the Big Mac in 9th, Molepiece. So I'm going to go back up to our race leader Derg. You can see the fuel light flashing. Derg confident he can get to the pit lane with the little fuel he's got. Paul's coming in. So Paul, who was in third position, Paul has gone into the pits. So I'm just going to keep an eye on Derg. I want to make sure he doesn't run out as he gets inside Pete, literally. Bit strange, that one. We've got Brian in the courtesy car just ahead of Derg, so Derg's got to try and get by him. That fuel is definitely running out, but I think he's going to make it. He's definitely done his calculations, and yeah, Derg is now pulling into the pits. Toten will be following him, currently in second. Callum has already made a pit stop, although he is quite a way off, so it'll be interesting to see how close he can get to Derg and Toten as they are in the pits. We'll come back to that. Paul in fourth. He's coming under a bit of pressure from Grasshopper, so this is the first real battle we've managed to see. Oh, as Paul goes very deep into that turn, and that's allowed Grasshopper through. Paul just could not get that car slowed down. before they hit turn 1. So Paul now in 5th. He's allowed Grasshopper to move up into 4th. So Paul is going to get onto the back of Grasshopper as they try and get by Nath. I'm sure Nath will let them through. He's not going to put up much of a fight, and he doesn't. He just stays to the left and lets these two guys through. So Vicar down in 6th. Then we've got Unforgiven in 7th. The Big Mac. Quite a lonely one for him today, out on his own. Brian Moncarney, so Brian with a 3-second penalty as well. Again, that has got to be for the pit lane, crossing the pit lane. Then we've got Molpana then. There was a yellow flag, mind you, there's been lots of yellow flags, so we're not going to worry too much about them. So there we go, Brian serves his penalty. Callum goes through. Now Callum is now in the lead. So did he? I didn't think he'd get close enough, but he did. So while Dirk was in the pit, so you can see Dirk just come out of the pits as Callum just gets his nose in front. So Callum now our new race leader. Dirk couldn't get out the pitch quick enough and finds himself in 2nd. And let's just have a look, both on the medium tyres, Dirk with the fresher mediums. This is where the yellow flag was waving for Brian to serve his penalty. So what a dramatic turn of events there. Callum, I didn't think he was going to be close enough to Dirk to actually take the lead, but he did, as Callum goes straight through Brian as Brian serves his penalty. Dirk desperately trying to get back up onto the back of Callum to try and make a move, put him under pressure, maybe force an error. But Callum is our new race leader, with Dirk in 2nd, Toten in 3rd. Then we've got Grasshopper in 4th, with Paul just behind in 5th, Vicar 6th, Unforgiven 7th. Then we've got Brian Moncarney. I think Brian Moncarney is actually leading the Group 3 cars. Remember, I can't remember what he was in before in race 1, but obviously there was a problem with it and they've had to give him this Mazda courtesy car, although this little thing has got some beans in it. When it first appeared in the game, it was the car to have. It seemed quicker than everything else, although he's going to have to move out of the way to let Toten through. But Brian in 8th, and as I say, I think he is leading the Group 4 challenge. Then we've got Pete in 9th and the Big Mac in 10th. So the two Ferraris battling it out for 9th position. We are at 18.5 minutes into this 30-minute race. On lap 16, the fastest lap belongs to Callum, the 1:02.1. Malpiece in 11th in the McLaren. Everybody just taking off a little bit as they go over that bump just after the start finish line. So Malpiece in 11th. You can just see our race leader creeping up behind him. That is what the blue flag's all about. Malpiece obviously in the Group 4 car. You can see Callum now right on the back of him. I'm sure Malpiece won't try and hold them up. He doesn't have to move out of the way, but I'm sure he will do. As he does, stays to the left as Callum and Dirk go flying by. Then we've got Nath down in 12th. He's going to have to move out of the way and let Toten through. Toten currently in 3rd. A few battle scars on Nath's car. He don't care though. He doesn't have to repair it. So back up to our race leader, Callum. In fact, let's go on board with Dirk as we try and chase Callum down across the start-finish line. We are on lap 19 now, with 10 minutes exactly to go. So can Dirk put Callum under enough pressure to force a mistake from him. But we said at the very beginning that Porsche is going to be very quick through these turns, very nimble, not so quick on a straight, but then again, I think there's more turns than straights on this track. We've got 11 of them. It's only a 1.5 mile long track. So Callum may well have the advantage over this Lexus of Derg's. Derg seems to catch, we hit a corner and he loses ground then. So he's just going to hope that Callum makes a mistake. All the while, let's just have a look, all the while Toten trying to catch up. But I think the guys in front are just too far ahead. Then we've got Paul. Let's have a look. Where's Toten? There's Paul. So Paul a long way off of Toten. So the top three, I am pretty sure, is going to be the guys on the podium at the minute. As I say, the top three at the minute are going to be on the podium. Albeit, except for some accident of some sort. Grasshopper finding himself in 5th. See the Big Mac. If Big Mac has picked up a 3-second penalty, there's quite a few of them this time. Didn't see any of them in race 1, but we've seen quite a few of them in race 2. So everybody falling foul to this the pit lane infringements. So the Big Mac's picked up a 3-second penalty. You can see he's there he goes. He served his penalty down in 12th. So let's just have a look at the tyres and fuel for Callum. Callum on half a tank. That should be enough to see him to the end. Tyres looking okay on the mediums. Same with Dirk, plenty of fuel. He's made sure this time around, I think, after the mistake he made at the very end of the race in race one, where he pulled up short, didn't think he had enough fuel to make it through another lap, but actually gave second position up to Grasshopper. Toten, another yellow flag waving in front of Toten. And I'm just looking at the map in the top right, and it doesn't look like anybody's facing the wrong way, so we're not going to go searching for that. All in 4th, trying to push us. Hi Callum, morning. All trying to get his way through the back markers. Still in 4th. Not under any pressure is Paul. He'll be pleased with this. He'll keep going. He's had a good first race and a good steady second race so far. Grasshopper in 5th in the Corvette. Not having such a fantastic race this time out, although he is still facing the right way. Which it was about this time in the race, in race 1, that he came unstuck, battling hard for the win in race 1, and then got it all completely wrong. So Grasshopper in 5th, Vicar 6th, then Unforgiven. Unforgiven looks like he's going to be lapped by Toten, currently in 3rd, so Callum and Derg have obviously gone by. Moncani in 8th. Then we've got Pete in 9th, so the two countrymen battling it out there. Ooh, bit of a bumper kiss. Now, who was that from? That may well have been Vicar, I think. I thought it was a yellow nose. Vicar in 6th. I'm going to go up to our race leader and see what's happening up at the front. It is Callum 99 out in front. He has got Dirk still chasing him down. Although there is a little gap opening up. There is a few car lengths gap between the two of them now. We are just approaching the last 5 minutes of this second race. Another quick swig of juice there, and it is only juice before anybody says anything. A bit too early for all that hard stuff for me anyway. Remember, if you do enjoy these races, please hit the like button, and if you haven't already subscribed, can you please do so? It really means a lot to me, and it does help promote the channel. I am hoping to get to 100 subs by the end of the week. I think we are now at around 98, 99. So thank you to everybody that has already subscribed. I really do appreciate it. But let's push on and get into treble figures as we watch Callum and Derg battling it out through turns 1, 2, 3 and 4. We are into the last 5 minutes. We will run down the order. Toten in third, and it looks like that's how he's going to finish. You see Vicar in sixth. This is where it starts getting confusing as the guys start to lap each other. Paul is in fourth. Let's just have a look. Grasshopper in fifth, not that far behind Paul. Although I don't think he's close enough to actually improve on his lap position. We've just seen Vicar in sixth, then we've got Unforgiven in seventh. Unforgiven got damage at the rear, that's just repaired itself, so he's obviously had a bit of a bump. Ryan Moncani in eighth, Pete ninth, so no real change at the back. No Molepiece, Nath and Big Mac. Big Mac looks like he's having another little bit of a moment. Let's go back and have another look. And oh Christ, come on, highlight his misery, shall we? He gets his rear wheels on the grass, slides his way around, doesn't quite pull the drift off, and then struggles to get off the barrier. Now he's dirty tyres. It's going to take him a few corners to clean them up. So the Big Mac down in 12th, and it doesn't look like he's going to improve on that. You can see the front end has got damage as well, and another kiss with barrier for the Big Mac. Let's go back up to Callum. I'm sure the Big Mac will appreciate the fact that we're looking at somebody else now. As Callum, still our race leader, fighting hard to keep Derg behind him. Oh, was that a slight mistake from Callum, or is that his usual line? Getting his rear wheel on the grass. We've seen a few people do that and come unstuck, but Callum's managed to keep it going. As they come down the hill across the start-finish line, start lap 26, we have just under 3 minutes of this race to go. If Derg wants to take the win, he's going to have to do something pretty quickly. Maybe he's hoping that as they approach the back markers, one of them will get in Callum's way. Maybe the Big Mac. Is he going to help Derg out here? Is he going to hold Callum up long enough for Derg to make a move? Remember the incident in race 1, if you watched it. It was Grasshopper that was out in front, and Vicar actually had a crash just ahead of him, and Grasshopper slammed into the back of him, got nowhere to go, which gifted Toten the win. But it looks like Callum is not going to have that problem. He's managed to get by the Big Mac. Derg has managed to get by as well. He did get hold up a little bit, but he's got by now. So Derg back on the charge to try and nick this win from Callum. Getting very frustrated, getting a bit of air there as they go over the bump down to turn 1. A right-hander. Then we've got turn 2, 3 and 4. You don't seem to be able to pick up any pace. It's just all turning through this section. Then as they go across the bridge, Derg can get his foot down, although a little bit of a gap has opened up. We have about just coming up to the last minute. We'll have a rundown of the order. Toten in third, Paul fourth, Grasshopper fifth, sixth is Unforgiven, Vicar is seventh, Ryan Moncani 8th, Pete is 9th, Molepiece 10th with Nath in 11th, and the Big Mac down in 12th. So the only real battle that's taking place on track is between Callum and Derg, although Callum now has opened up a few car lengths gap. We are into the last, well, we're into the last minute. This is the last lap as these guys go across the line. Now I'm going to go through and see if I can see who's going to cross the line first, and it may well be Paul. So Paul currently in 4th. We have just over 10 seconds left. Now, can Paul get across that start finish line and get another lap? Or is he going to be the first one to finish? I think he's going to get another lap. He has. So Grasshopper struggling for fuel. Oh, now somebody's pulled up. So Grasshopper goes through. He takes 5th. Unforgiven 6th. I think Unforgiven parked up. But Grasshopper in 5th. Unforgiven 6th. Pete is coming in 7th. Let's try and catch up and catch the guys as they go across the line. So Callum takes the checkered flag and takes the win. So Callum wins race 2 with Dirk. It's 2nd. Toten is going to come through in 3rd with Paul 4th. Everybody finishing at different times, so we will have a quick run down the order. You can see the Big Mac finishes. Toten crosses the line in 3rd. Paul is going to come through and take 4th. Grasshopper 5th. Unforgiven 6th. Brian 7th. Pete 8th. Mulpeath 9th. Nath took 10th and the Big Mac 11th. I'm sure we started with 12, so we did lose somebody along the way. I'm not sure who it was, but thank you very much for joining me. We will catch up next week when we will be back on track. And because all the tracks are all over the place, I'm not even sure where we are. So it'll be a surprise for everybody. So I look forward to that one, and I shall catch you all very, very shortly.